everyone, Larry back with you again, and I will have to tell you it is a gorgeous afternoon here in Northwest Alabama. I would say the temperature is in the mid to low 80s and the sun shining, not a cloud in the sky anywhere, just a gorgeous afternoon. And what I'm going to be working on for the next few minutes, as you have probably seen in some of our previous videos, we're getting ready to start the addition to our shed here, and I did some grading last weekend, and so what I'm working on today is to try to establish the grade so that when I do get ready to pour the floor in the new shed addition, it'll be on the same level as the previous floor in the other part of the shed. And I'm going to be using the my Johnson laser level to work on this, and that's about it. Let's get started on this project and see if we can get the grade shot on this new addition to the shed, which is our lawnmower and other equipment shed, the side-by-side and what have you. So come on again, let's get started. This is a self-leveling instrument, so you don't really have to be exact, but I do like to kind of give it a little bit of an advantage by starting off with the tripod being as level as I possibly can, and then of course the instrument itself will do the rest whenever I cut it on. So again, just making sure that the tripod is level first. This is a Johnson 4515 level, and right now I have it in the locked or transport position, and we'll just fasten this on to the tripod. Going to take it off of the locked position and turn it on. And you can, you may or may not be able to see the laser rotating. What I plan on doing is going over to the shed here and establishing the level of the concrete, and then going over to each point here and seeing how far off I am, if any, and I'll write that amount on the little stake that I've got stuck out there, and then if necessary we'll take off some more of the ground here so that we can have the proper level to the floor area here, or to the ground area, where I will eventually pour another concrete slab for the new shed addition. I'm going to go ahead and turn the the level back off until I get ready to make this reading over here. I've got a little bit I need to do, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it back off. Just okay. What we're going to do first is to determine the elevation or the level of this floor here. So I'm just going to run this up on the rod, and here we are getting close. Okay, the reading on the rod is 4 foot 10 and a quarter, just a little under a quarter. So I'm going to write that down on this this old piece of cardboard. 4 foot 10 and a quarter. I'm going to put a minus after that because it's just a little bit under a quarter. Now the way I plan on doing this is I'm going to each location, and this may or may not be the best way, but this is the way I thought I would try this. I'm going to each location and I'll move it up or down to the same level as what we have here, and whatever the reading is. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and make some marks here to represent where the stakes are, and this being the building. And I'll just move it up or down, and that'll tell me if I need to, if I have to move it up, then that means that I'm a little bit low. If I have to move it down some, that means that I'm a little bit high. So let's just see how this works out. Okay, I'm going to start over here on this corner. This is the one, as I said, that I'm most concerned about. And so if you notice, it immediately went off. Now what that tells me is that this point here is high because it is the very same level as my current floor. So I have still got to go down here 4 inches. On this post here, I'm going to write minus 4 inches, because that tells me from the reading there that I'm 4 inches high. So to have a 4-inch concrete floor, I've got to go down here at least 4 inches. Now that really concerns me somewhat, because I've got this pipe coming under here, and I don't know how much further or how much lower I can go at this point here and not get into that water line that runs across here. Okay, this point is lower. Let's see how much lower. This point here is 3/4 of an inch lower. So what that tells me is I've got to go down 3 1/4 inches more at this point to have the 4 inches for the surface of the concrete to match up. So what I'm going to do now is on this stake, I'm going to write minus 3 1/4 inches. So that one's got to go down 4, this one's got to go down 3 1/4. Now let's go to the 2 middle ones. Okay, I've set my receiver back up on the rod at 4 foot 10 and just a little under a quarter. So let's see here where we are on this one. I'll start by going up a little bit. I think we okay, now we're at 5 foot and 3/4. So what I need to do here is to go down it is down 2.5 already. So I need to go down another 1.5 inches at this point. So we're getting really close when we get into here. So I need to go down 1.5 inches here, and I'll put the rod and receiver over here, and on this stake I'll write -1.5. Okay, now we're at 5 foot 2.25. What that tells me is that we are at the proper location here. We were at 4 foot 10.25 over here on our original concrete floor. Now we're at 5 foot 2.25. So that tells me that this is exactly here where I need this to be. So I'll write on this stake 0. Okay, I'm going to run my receiver back down to 4 foot 10 and just a little under 1/4. I was noticing that I've got a little area of concrete here that I may see if I can burst out, or I may just pour over it. I don't know for sure, but let's see. At this point right here, just outside that little piece of concrete, where we are, and I think again that we're a little low or a little high here, so okay, this time we're at 5 foot 1.5. So 5 foot 1.5. So what that tells me is we need to go down 1 inch right here, because it needs to be at well, let's see, we actually only need to go down 3/4, but I'll just say 1 inch here, just to be on the safe side. So I'm just going to write it here, -1 inch. Okay, this one here is at 5 foot and 1/2 inches. So we need to go down about 1.5 inches at this point here. So I'll write that down. Well, that tells me pretty much what I thought already, and that is that point over there is still pretty high. And this point over here on this corner is high also. We'll get that taken care of in another video. I just wanted you to kind of see what I was working on here to get the proper elevation on this. And as I said, I'm really concerned about the location of this water line coming in here. If I have to go down over there another 4 inches, I'm really afraid that's going to get me very close to this water line. I just don't know how much lower I can go here. But if in order to do what I've got to do, if we get into this piece of pipe, I'll just have to repair it. and maybe go a little bit deeper with it, just enough to be able to get it underneath where I'm grading. So we'll see. But there you have it, folks. I've got a good idea now of the elevation of this area here. So what we'll do, and yes, I know I'll be moving these stakes to do the grading, but this lines up with the front of the greenhouse, so I know pretty much where this area is, and I'll kind of make some reference points to it, lining it up with the back side of the current building, lining that up with the front side of the current building, and then lining it up with the front of the greenhouse. And we'll just start excavating a little bit more of this area here. Take down just a little bit of this area back here. We don't need to move very much back there, but take it down a little bit and get this down so that we can have at least the proper elevation to pour the concrete floor on. And then the next thing we'll do is to drill the holes, put the support post, the main post up. And by the way, I made those posts out of those utility poles. In some of the previous videos, I think I've shown you cutting those on the sawmill. So that's what these main support posts are made out of. They're a full 6x6 out of the utility poles, so there'll be six of those, 2 next to the building, 2 in the middle, and then 2 up here on the end. So there you have it. We'll see how this works out. I certainly do want to thank you for joining us here on St. Nick's Farms, and I want to invite you to stay tuned on future videos as we start the building, and then hopefully in the time that we have, which is usually the weekends, be able to complete this before winter time. So again, thank you so much for joining us here on St. Nick's Farms. If you like the video, be sure to give us a thumbs up. Comment down below. I really enjoy reading your comments and your thoughts and your opinions. Even if you've got some constructive criticism, I really do enjoy reading the comments from you, our viewers. So be sure to leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. So folks, until next time, this is Larry. Thank you so much. Have a great one. I'll see you folks. Bye-bye. Take care.